to greater heights. If medals were awarded for effort, then this German side would certainly have been decorated. Had they realized earlier how vulnerable the Argentine defense could be from corners taken from the left of the penalty area, they might have scored a hatful. In the event, they scored an equalizing goal, while the Argentine defense was sickened by their own lack of discipline. Once again, the responsibility for lifting the team and the nation from the pit of despair fell to Maradona. A pass of brilliant vision set a teammate free and into space. The finish was the material of Hollywood. And even a collision in the penalty area brought a smile to Maradona's face instead of a frown. And so to that final whistle. For the victors, it brought pounding hearts and the ultimate thrill. For the vanquished, it brought only broken hearts and silent, utter disappointment. These were unforgettable times for Argentina. In Mexico, her young bucks had proved unbeatable. Back home, the blueprint for true democracy was being drawn. After 1986, the Maradona caravan returned to Europe and Naples. The World Cup had given him the status of a superstar captain, and the reception which greeted Maradona every time he wore the Napoli colors confirmed his stardom. During the opening match of the new season, the now familiar control, pace, strike and salute heralded the beginning of fresh glories to come. It was this standard of ability that would lift the Naples club from also-rans into championship winners. So confident were they in the ability of the little Argentinian to lead them to the Serie A title that the carnival lasted right up to the deciding fixture of the season. Maradona gave his usual photo call, then a sprint, a shimmy, and a high-stepping run. Tensions mounted as a Maradona free kick missed by a whisker. Napoli needed only a draw to secure the golden prize. And when their hero provided a pass that led to the opening goal, the rest of Italy thought Mount Vesuvius had blown its top. 10 minutes later, a refereeing decision, debated by Napoli in that usual contrary Italian manner, left them facing a free kick. Perhaps Neapolitan debate was warranted after all, because this free kick pushed them back onto level terms. Fortunately, at the final whistle, the score remained the same. Napoli were champions for the first time in their entire football history. The Napoli celebrations sent shudders thundering through the backbone of Italy, which registered on the Richter scale, particularly in Milan. And although Maradona and Napoli would win the championship again in 1990, the world would start to witness the gradual decline of this fabulous creature of football. The following season saw the south of Italy flocking to see the champions defend their title. It seemed that every man and boy wanted to be inside the San Paolo Stadium. However, this was not to be their year. Much to Neapolitan chagrin, this was to be the year of the Milanese. Milan were the big money club with power and influence. Milan were a team with a high media profile. It was Milan who had secured the cream of world football talent and settled them in the north of Italy. Even an incredible Maradona dead ball strike could not stem the flow of Naples' blood. To the home crowd, this was a typical Maradona effort, something they'd come to expect, perhaps take for granted. Milan were a team of thrilling potential, assembled together to become the most effective and the most successful in European football. This Milan side were a well-balanced unit that had respect for individual brilliance, experience and ability which would not under any circumstances be overawed or intimidated by the Neapolitan way of football. To all intents and purposes, it appeared that Napoli were trying their utmost to stop a Milan victory, and that nothing could prevent the red and black stripes moving forward with resolution and absolute confidence in their destiny. Yet from this moment on, rumors gathered pace within football and social circles that a few of the Napoli team were not trying hard enough, that the Camorra, the Naples Mafia, had awarded this match its evil attention. In 1989, Claudia Villafan made her way into the Most Holy Sacrament Basilica, Buenos Aires. Diego Maradona was waiting for her at the altar. This was a scene which could quite easily have been taken from any one of the Godfather trilogy of movies. A $1 million wedding. When the couple left the basilica, it was difficult to judge his emotions. Then he smiled. And they kissed. The wedding reception, too, was on the grand scale. 200 guests, including his Napoli teammates, were flown over to Buenos Aires on a chartered Boeing 747. The couple were to forsake an immediate honeymoon. Maradona, now beginning to show the signs of wear and tear, wanted to prepare himself for the 1990 World Cup. This was going to be the big one. Argentina were defending the championship in the arenas of Italy, Maradona's adopted homeland. He won. Italian drug testing had found traces of cocaine in Maradona's urine sample. By April 1991, prior to the announcement of his punishment by the Italian football authorities, Maradona arrived at his parents' house in Buenos Aires. He would offer no comment. Instead, his agent faced the press, stating that Maradona had no intention of returning to Europe. He also said that Maradona had decided to quit soccer for a while. Later, he would look at the national team or other alternatives. However, by the end of April, a haggard and frightened Maradona was taken from his apartment by the police and charged with drug offenses. A $20,000 bail was posted after he'd admitted his use of drugs. Again, a statement was issued on his behalf. The player never harmed anyone, and he was not sick. What he has to do now is sort out his life. FIFA had awarded the 1994 World Cup finals to the USA, and Maradona was clear to play. The Americans were adamant that all the star names who could perform should perform. Argentina had qualified once again, and it didn't come any starrier than Diego Maradona. The Argentine captain trained like fury in order to get himself into peak condition. Sometimes with his teammates, often by himself. Argentina now had a new squad of players and a fresh philosophy. With the aging Maradona again at the helm, anything was possible. So it proved against Greece, when the left foot of this veteran of battles past connected with all his old power and accuracy. Did you miss me while I was away? But in his next match against Nigeria, Maradona was beginning to display the signs of stress. After the match, it was he who found himself picked out for the routine drug test. On the surface, he didn't appear to be perturbed. Although he left with all his old macho arrogance, there was something in his eyes that spelled trouble. Big trouble.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please. May I ask you not to use cell phones during press conference?
Both analyses of the urine sample have proved to be positive.
The one question that remains unanswered to this day is why, if he was an habitual drug and stimulant abuser, did Maradona agree to participate in the USA World Cup finals when he knew there was every likelihood that he'd be singled out for testing? From the innocence of childhood to the maturity of manhood, Diego Maradona was the symbol of Argentine optimism. A heavy burden indeed. His disappointment was their tragedy. His celebration was their glory. Maradona was feted and adored by the Argentine public. He never once ignored this responsibility. On his return to Buenos Aires, this former street urchin presided over a press conference with practiced ease. Only he was to blame. He'd hoped to end his career with a World Cup triumph. When asked who he thought would eventually win the competition, Maradona answered ruefully, Brazil. Then he walked away.